Well, hey YouTube, look what finally arrived after a month wait, which before that was, what were we, 2 years when they announced this thing? It's the Crosman Vapor. And we'll see. I just opened a box to make sure it was in there. It says up to 1100 feet per second with alloy pellets.
Bullshit.
I'll test that. Comes with 2 auto-indexing magazines. And the thing I'm excited about is these are Gamma style magazines, like the Swarm type, I believe. Maybe I'm mistaken, but that's the impression I have. And there we go. Made in China. I'm not the biggest fan of Crosman since last year when they closed their factory. So the question is, should you buy one of these? I don't know. I'm going to take it out. I'm going to shoot a bit and let you know if I think you should or not. Well, okay, let's take a look at this thing. First thing off the bat, if you think the Vapor Max has a passing resemblance to the Daisy 880, you wouldn't be wrong. The trigger looks the same, safety looks the same. The bolt pattern for the receiver, the inner aluminum receiver, appears to be the same. The rear sight appears to be the same, although I did notice that it has an extended piece on it for the rear notch, which is significantly taller than what comes on your Daisy 880. So the front sight, fiber optic, and it has this plastic barrel shroud on it. Yeah, these look like side covers would come off. Same as an 880. And of course then you have magazine fed as opposed to your traditional 880. So there's no port on the side to run BBs through it. It has a rifled barrel. This is a herkier feeling gun than the 880. The handle, the pump handle, what I like seeing that. Let's do the magnet test. Look at that, an actual metal pump handle. Holy moly, amazing. We haven't had a metal pump handle since, what, the 90s on the 880 variants. So yeah, that's the same how the pump handle parks. I think in one of the videos somebody mentioned in the comments, they're asking why it had so much more power. And what I'd read was, or maybe what the video said, is that it's got a longer pump tube than what you typically see. So this is herky. I'm happy to see that. There's your piston with your felt wiper. I like that it still says oil here. So that spring, it's kind of reminds me of the Winchester 1977 XS. So like an 880, you have to cock it first before you can put air into it, or it'll just bleed through. Magnet test. It's feeling some metal down in there. You've got a plastic stock. It's got this waffle pattern, but this is hard plastic, hard plastic, hard plastic. Side covers must slip into place like they do on an 880. But you got a steel barrel shroud, so that's nice. Sight is steel. Front sight is not. And the trigger looks like a plastic trigger. Cross bolt safety. And then I was looking at the magazines, and this is from a Swarm Gen 1 22 caliber out of my brake barrel, and so this looks like a Gen 1 style magazine, which is good, at least in my experience. I've had 0 issues with these magazines in how long have I had that gun? 2 years now of shooting it roughly. The only thing is this O-ring, when you're shooting it in cold temperatures, it can get stiff and it makes it a little bit difficult to put the pellet in. So, but I'm here in Alaska. A lot of you guys probably won't be an issue for you. So I'm gonna get some magazine loaded up and try this thing out. Okay guys, so here's the part you've probably been waiting for, the shooting test. And I have 10 And I have a magazine, 10 rounds loaded of RWS Super Mag. These are 9.3 grain flat nose pellet. And I found they've worked really, really well in a Daisy 880, my Daisy 901, and the Winchester 1977 XS, which are all kind of this very similar platform to this, although there are differences with this gun. So let's get to shooting. I'm gonna actually shoot 10 rounds at this target that I've got set up. Oh, I only have 8 in the magazine, dang it. Let me correct that for you. Sorry about the, I crony tested, that's where they went. So I thought I was ready. Been doing a lot of, I probably have 60 rounds to this gun now, just shooting and getting it sighted in, and I'm trying to get this video done before it gets dark. All right, so first off, before we start shooting, the magazine, it's kind of janky. I like these Swarm mags in my break barrel Gamos. In this, I'd say they're fiddly. It's, I've had some issues where it didn't want to feed, and I had to manually rotate the magazine just a little bit to index it a little better than it would feed. You hear that click? You have to make sure it clicks. And then it just, this gun, if you love the feel of the Chinese, the modern 880, this gun captured it in spades. It has that same cheap feel to it, I hate to say. There are good things. I don't mean to be negative, but I am sounding negative because maybe I'll get into that later. All right, so just got to make sure you snap your magazine in properly. Push it forward. Some guys like, don't do that because you shouldn't load a pellet in a chamber while you're pumping. I don't know. I've never had a problem. I'm sure you could. Now, the pumping effort, this thing was really dry. I put a lot of pellet gun oil on that felt seal, and that really helped it out. But that cheap feeling, it's missing the 2 screws on either side of the stock, and this whole thing wiggles like the original 880, and it's pretty annoying. So that's 1 pump, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now that I have it oiled and it's been breaking in, it's pretty easy to pump. It's stiffer than an 880, but it's really quite easy. So let's get to shooting. I didn't mean to prolong that. I did have to adjust my windage way over to the right because this gun was shooting. Anyway, here we go. The trigger on this gun is pretty stiff. I don't mind the trigger. It's breaking in nicely, but it is stiff. The sights, I don't mind the sights. I'll have to show you the sight. They work fine. I can't really tell how I'm doing down there. You guys can see better than me. Oh, it would help if I chambered a pellet. I have had issues with the magazine not advancing properly, and like I say, sometimes I have to bump it a little bit to get it to index. It does load pellets nice and easy into the magazine, so that's a good thing. Don't know how it'll do in cold weather. It's about 50 degrees right now. The length of pull is longer than an 880, so it feels better for an adult than an 880, which feels kind of small. And let's see how those are coming. Yeah, yeah. You guys can see the target. Now, I'm shooting this thing just how it comes out of the box. I haven't cleaned it. I'll end up doing that to see if I can improve it, testing different pellets, but I was actually really expecting more out of this thing because this platform, basically this platform is very accurate, so maybe it doesn't like super mags. I'm gonna do 10 pumps for the last 3. 1, 2, 4, 6, 8, 9, 10. As far as noise, it's a noisy gun. 5 pumps isn't bad. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. But 10 pumps, it's got quite the crack to it. Looks like I got 1 left. The indicators here on the side, if you lose track, you can just quickly look, which is nice. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I do like the longer pumping handle, and I like this bigger opening, so if you're wearing gloves in the wintertime, that would be nice. And I'm not wrapping my knuckles in here, so I do like that. Well, I don't know, you guys could tell better than me how this thing was shooting. I'm gonna go turn that camera off and grab the target. All right, so I'm not impressed. I was kind of reviewing a video on the other camera really quickly to see if it looked like they were just kind of going everywhere. So there's a 1/4. That's terrible, just terrible. And I am able to shoot dime-sized groups with an 880 at 20 yards with open sights. So I'm not. Maybe it hates super mags, you know. Maybe these aren't the pellet for it. The ones I thought might work, because this is a hunt, you know, you get it for hunting, would be these, and these were all over the place. So anyway, just I'm not super impressed right now. Well, all right, let's do some plinking and see how this thing does at 20 yards. I'm going to be using the Crosman Spanish-made hollow points. These are 7.6 grain pellet, and I've got a magazine loaded with them right here. Got 12-ounce cans. They're full of water. Let's hit them at 10 pumps and see what happens. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I missed. All right. Let me aim, hold to the bottom of the can. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I'll hold to the bottom of the can and see if I overshot it. Let's see what happened here. There we go. 9, 10. Yeah, I want to be more excited about this gun. I love pneumatics. I like. It's got a lot of power. I'm a little concerned about accuracy. I haven't watched enough videos of everybody else, how they're doing with theirs. I know people are going to leave in the comments, you got to clean the barrel. It's like, I didn't clean the barrel in my 901. I didn't clean the barrel in my 1977 XS. I didn't clean the barrel in that Chinese 880. All shot great. So when people start saying, you got to clean the barrel, to me it's always kind of an excuse why the gun isn't, I've not really found it to make any dramatic night and day difference in the past. 8, 9, 10, and then the whole ordering process with this gun taking over a month, ordering it directly off Crosman's website to get it. And as a creator, I wanted to have this video, like, as soon as it became available, order this gun. And they shipped it FedEx, which came through the post office, showed it was delivered on Tuesday. It didn't show up in my house. I had to go to the post office and say, hey, did they have this smart post or whatever it is? And the lady's like, well, I don't. And she looked and showed up today. And when I asked Crosman where it was basically pound sand. Oh, you use the route protection thing. And I was not happy with the lack of customer service I got. Hey, hit that one. So that is affecting my attitude towards this review. I think that's 10 pumps there. Well, I'm doing good. The magazine's nice. Aside from the feeding problems I had with it earlier off camera, these same style magazines work just flawlessly in my Swarm Whisper. 9, 10. All right, let's see if I can hit a can bottom. Oh, good, good. Hey, things are coming together. This is good. 10. Huh. 2 left. 6, 7, 8, 9. So this handle, I've been using it so much shooting that it actually kind of chafes on your hand a little bit if you're pumping a lot. There we go. All right, I'm pretty much losing my light here, and the question I started off the video is, should you buy one of these? If you how cheap this thing feels for $120 is annoying. Of course, I guess the 1977 XS was similar in price, I think. Or maybe it wasn't. I don't remember. Maybe that's sometimes what they're listed for. This thing, the chassis flexing and feeling the stock being loose, and I tighten screws, and that's annoying. Yeah, you'll get used to it. You can live with it. The power's awesome. If you're going to use it for pest control, having the magazine is a really nice feature. But you're not going to have a quick follow-up shot. What I don't like about the magazine is you can't single feed this. You have to use a magazine for everything, and that's really annoying when you're testing pellets, or if you're trying for target shooting, trying to do as well as you can. I will put a scope on it, and I'm sure that'll help. Yeah, I guess because I've been waiting. I think they showed this thing, the concept, 2 years ago, so perhaps my expectations were higher than they should be. I really don't like these weird. You think these would be rubbery, or they're not. Everything just feels. It feels cheap. I guess if I between this and a 3.62, I'd rather get the 3.62 because you can modify the 3.62. You can do all kinds of things with it. If this thing had shown really good accuracy right out of the box, I'd be pretty happy and pleased with it. But because it isn't, and down the road we'll see. Chances are it'll come together maybe. But then I've also tested these magazines. I shot my Gamma Break Barrel Swarm Whisper without the magazine. I had better accuracy without the magazine than with. So the magazine is going to degrade the accuracy a tiny bit just by the nature of it having to be in a rotary drum, and the squirts are getting manipulated, and you have to be careful with this to make sure it indexes correctly. So it's just. And I would be supporting an American company, but they closed their factories, so can't even say that. Yeah, I don't know. I will continue doing tests on it. I'm just kind of wondering, so if a guy got one, I guess they're just better things for pest control. If you want a pneumatic, there's more accurate pneumatics. I guess this big thing is power, and if the accuracy comes together, then we'll really have something here. So I'll leave it at that. Too early to tell, but just, I guess, maybe just wait and see what more reviews come out on these things, and then go from there. All right, guys. I buy these guns myself, so I don't owe anybody anything to say certain things about them, and don't have buyer's remorse, but I'm also not over the moon with it, so kind of surprised to be saying that. Anyway, that's all for now. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments below. Thanks for watching.